Last week, I took a class at a local art store with a local artist who was teaching us how to paint watercolor poppies. The class was only 2 hours, so it felt a little rushed. And I thought it would be fun to practice what I learned in that class again today. This is the reference material and the painting I produced that night. And the rest of this video is just me experimenting. I'm kind of trying to create the same composition that I had created the other night based on a photograph we were given in class. And I spent a little bit more time than we had that night on this entire process. I think that entire night we had about an hour from drawing to completed drawing, or painting, sorry. And it felt very rushed. And in this case, I think as I worked my way through it, I spent roughly 25 minutes longer, and maybe spent too much time on the rough sketch, getting it to be too close to what I had the other day. It actually wound up being not close at all. I think I've put too many petals on all these plants or these poppies, especially the two sort of crunched in the middle bottom that become orange. They're just a little too many petals. I also was really interested in trying to use these Shell watercolors that I've had for a while and really love. Unfortunately, I think I've done something to the yellow, so it's no longer yellow. And as I was playing with this, I didn't like the fact that they were sort of pre-mixed. And the other night we were mixing our own paint, which is a huge transition because normally I would prefer pre-mixed. So I went away from these and pulled out some Sennelier's paints that I have. I was using a Sennelier Red and Sennelier Yellow Light, and the green I'm using is Phthalo Green Light. And as I make my way through this, I was struggling with keeping my paintbrush wet enough, which was an interesting, I think I was using a similar sized brush the other night, but the brush I was using today seems to not hold a lot of paint or water, and it was something I had actually bought at Hobby Lobby now that I'm looking at it. And so it is a synthetic hair brush, and this is the first time I've used it, and I'm not a fan for this type of work anyway. So you can tell on this that I was struggling to keep the paintbrush wet enough. On the other piece I did last week, Wednesday, you can see very nice watercolor type bleeds and blends, and with this brush I just could not get it. So I may try this again later this week with a different brush and maybe even different paper. I used a pretty high textured 100% cotton paper, which I normally love, but this combination with the paintbrush, too much detail on the two middle flowers, didn't notice until now. And then this paper, I just really am not that thrilled with the result. Which I find interesting because when I was in the class, I was looking forward to going home and doing this on my own without feedback. And now I'm now I had that time by myself to do this, and definitely went astray in a couple places, right? The too many petals, which was something the teacher had warned us about. Trying to be too specific to the drawing. or the reference image. And then I really didn't have enough, I like just could not get that brush to hold enough water. It really, really caused a lot of struggle to get things to bleed and blend together as nicely as they did the other day. So here are the two images that I produced side by side. The one on the right is from last Wednesday. One still taped down is from today. And here's a closer look at the one from Wednesday. You can see a lot of bleeding of the paint. Obviously, I did go in with some pencil to darken areas. We used graphite. I used, I think, a 6B that night is what she had for us. And I really liked the fluidity. In hindsight, this is the one I created today. You can see I was having some troubles with keeping that paint moist or damp or wet, but overall, good practice, right? Good practice.